I can remember one day I almost committed suicide because I was wondering what the problem was. I would read with people, I would teach people, they all passed, and I failed. Hi. I know this is so new to me. Please don't judge me. I'm new here. I had to come on board because I've been getting questions, people wanting to get answers and clarity and steps on how I got here. I'm still very shy, but please, I need your support to continue this. Well, my name is Uche Chuku Cynthia Ero. A lot of you know me as you see, but you see, it's not as you see it. I had to come on board because I've been getting questions, people wanting to get answers and clarity and steps on how I got here. I'm a graduate of Dahosa University where I studied biochemistry. I'm currently doing my MBA in procurement and supply chain in University of Port Harcourt Business School. I currently work with Sigma Limited as a project manager and also relationship manager. It's been a journey, I must confess. Looking back, I could only say that God has been amazing and good. I'm not trying to make this so religious. Yes, but it's a journey that we should really appreciate God for. My journey, your journey. But I'm here not as a very successful person, but I'm here to encourage people and to give them hope and light. This is my first video, and I would want you to just stay tuned, enjoy. As it's going to be a ride, and I would want you to join me on this journey. I'm the third child of my parents. My mom is Gloria Abel, and my dad is Fidelis Abel. I grew up in Benin City, Edo State. I was born in Ovaron to be precise. I'm the third child of my parents out of five. Back growing up, it was so sweet and easy because I had intentional parents. I had parents that were focus driven. My dad was my best friend. Oh yes, I'm using words because he's late now. And he built or made this person you see today alongside my mom. She was an amazing person, or rather, she is an amazing person. I'm Catholic. I know you've been wondering how. I always see her at the house on the rock. But yes, I'm Catholic. My background is Roman Catholic. And I didn't grow up in a very strict, uptight family. I grew up amongst friends. I will call my parents friends because they were very liberal, but still instilled discipline. You know, when you have strict parents, but they're not strict and they're your friends. So that was how it was. And I can remember for the longest, I was a different kind of child. I wasn't like the regular, probably because I didn't grow up with my siblings being around. My brother was always with the phrase because he also thought he would be a reverend father. And my elder sister was in boarding school up until she got married very early. Then yeah, my other siblings, they were still small, so I had to take responsibility of them. So basically, you can see I was the first child with the family because I was the only one there. And I had struggles growing up. Everybody saw me as one smart, intelligent child because from the nursery school to secondary school, it was all brilliant. But something humbled me when I had series of failures for 5 years. People laughed at me, people judged me, people called me names and said, we said it, this was not what we assumed. She wasn't what we assumed she was, because I kept failing and I was wondering what the problem was. You know, I would write an exam after my wife, and my wife was so beautiful. But coming to jam, I kept failing. I know, I can remember one day I almost committed suicide because I was wondering what the problem was. I would read with people, I would teach people. They all passed and I failed. First year, second year, third year, fourth year. My friends, they were already in their final year or so, and I was still struggling. I went to different schools. Ah, God bless my parents, but they never gave up on me. I went to Oka. I went to Aochi Polytechnic. My mom took me to Aochi Polytechnic. I said, Mommy, I want to be a medical doctor. I don't want to go to a polytechnic. She said, No, as it is now, you can't just be in the house. But I was too determined and I said, No, Mom, I do not want to stay here. And she said, Okay. I went to Oka, Anambra State University, where I did free science at Umbao. If you're very familiar with schools, you know where that is. I was there for over 6 or 10 months, and all of a sudden, I couldn't find my result after the exam. I was wondering what happened again, you know. Then I left Oka. I went to University of Port Harcourt. I did my basic science, that's a basic, you know, thinking everything was going to come out well because I wanted to be a medical doctor. That was what I wanted to do. Then the whole strike happened with the Allo Boys that lasted for months, and my dad was wondering what the problem was. I got very frustrated. At this point, all my best friend, in fact, was already done from school. I was just there waiting and crying. Then my mom said, What's the meaning of your name? And I said, God's will. He said, Then let his will be done in your life. At that very instant, my mom said, Okay, that she has heard of a private school and that she would want me to go there. At that point, my dad wasn't the very rich or he was quite successful, but having to afford fees of over 600, 800 as a dad wasn't what he wanted to do. But my mom was very positive and she said her child must go to school, whatever means necessary that she was going to see that happen. So I went there, I saw the environment, and I said, This is another boarding school. You know, fear gripped me because I wasn't sure if this would end up in another situation or another story. But I had a very open mind and I decided to pursue that path. There was no admission currently going on at that then, and the only way to gain access or admission into the school was to go through diploma, and that will be for 2 years. And I'm like, how on earth will I do diploma? And the most annoying thing was that the only course available was agriculture, which was totally different from where I wanted to be. But with my mom's encouragement and support, and that of my very amazing uncle, Dr. Cosmas Izobi, they encouraged me and I went. And to God's grace and power, I graduated well with a distinction, of which I automatically gained admission to study biochemistry. You know, those in school then would probably say Uchi, because I was more like the saddest. I didn't speak to anybody, I didn't talk to anybody, I was always on my own, you know. I was so upset with people and the world that I didn't want to relate with anybody. It took me years to understand that I wasn't a failure. It took me extra hard work to know that this was just God's plan for my life, you know. And I kept on beating myself, trying to be better and better and better. When I graduated from diploma and I got distinction, it gave me a boost to say nothing actually died in me. This was just God saying, not time. And it's one thing to understand when God says it is not yet time. It's a very difficult place to be. But if you know who you are and whose you are in Christ, you know that when He says it is not yet time, it's actually not time. Don't push, don't force it. Just allow the will of God to prevail. And you'll be so shocked where He will take you to eventually. And here I am today. I don't even think any of my friends that had graduated way back before me are anywhere close to me. This is not me bragging, but this is me telling you where and how God where God wanted me to be, you know. Just maybe He wanted that part for me, you know, to meet people, to understand things because it's a Christian school. and they were quite uptight in terms of serving God because I was very committed and I was focused. So just maybe if I was in federal school, I would derail or probably start smoking or joining bad gang or something, or probably die somewhere, So I'm here today, grateful, and I'm just here to encourage people that are finding it difficult to pass a particular path. Just stay hopeful and patient. Know that this is God's plan. And He says, "What if nothing happens to you without my mark on it?" So you should trust God and trust the process. No matter if they are way before you or they are ahead of you, just see it as them being there. Like my pastor will always say, if something good is happening to my friends or my family, it means that it's very close to me. And you trust me that God is not just going to make you smile, but He will take you to the unexpected end, a place you are not even, you'll be marveled because where and what I've done after school, I cannot even explain it. It was so fast. When Pastor was saying things will happen so fast, that was my story. Because from school to NYC to getting a job, it's just been from one grace to another. So imagine a life of, oh, I was very impatient or I wanted to just get it done at that instant and do something. I can only but wonder where I would have been. So this is my story. And if it resonates with you, or you're in that particular place in your life where it looks slow or unassuming, this is me telling you to trust God. See you on my next episode. Until then, stay your favorite girl. You see.